What's going on, hoggers? In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make one of these. A pot cozy. Some of you have been requesting this, and I'm excited to share with you exactly what you need to make the pot cozy. All the materials, I'm going to list those out and show you. And then I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide where I'm going to show you physically each step and how to complete it. If you're new to the channel, my name is Jeremiah Stringer, and here we talk about all things hiking and backpacking. So if you're into that kind of thing, consider subscribing to the channel. Now, I am absolutely not the first person to make one of these videos. I've seen a number in the past. I know Darwin, I don't know about a pot cozy, but he definitely made like a rehydration sleeve out of the same Reflectix material I'm going to show you today. And Dixie, I know that she's made a video like this in the past over at Homemade Wanderlust, and great step-by-step guides, but I'm going to show you my technique today. This in particular, this pot cozy, I used it on my Vermont Long Trail through hike, and she has almost met the end of her days. In fact, I can see you through the cracks in it now. So I thought, what a great opportunity to show you how to make a pot cozy. And also, some of you requested in the comments in a previous video, can you show me how to make that? So here we are. My wife's about to join me, and we're going to get some super sick shots of how to do this. By the way, that Vermont Long Trail video coming out soon. All right, let's do it. Y'all want to see what the finished product looks like? This is the pot cozy that I made that I mentioned on the Vermont Long Trail. And as you can see, it's starting to fall apart. So we're going to make that new one today. Oh, look how sad. Oh. Anyway, here's exactly what you need. You're going to need some Reflectix insulation. I'll link it below. I bought this at Lowe's. You probably don't need a whole roll, but if you want to get a whole roll, they're like 15 or 20 bucks. You also need Reflectix tape. Not just duct tape. You can use duct tape to fix it on the trail if you have to, but Reflectix tape, I'll show you a couple little hacks to make your life a lot easier when you're using that. I found it at Lowe's as well, right below the Reflectix insulation. Hey, I have a multi-tool that I'm going to be using here in a minute for my eye bolt, a screwdriver, a marker, some scissors, and of course you need a cooking pot. This is a Stanco cooking pot. I just bought it on Amazon for like, I don't know, $5 or $8. I'll link that below as well. It's aluminum. It's really light. Not the most durable though. And I also bought at Lowe's an eye bolt, and I'll show you why here in a few minutes, and a couple of nuts to put on that eye bolt. Probably need a lock washer if I'm going to improve this design. I will tell you, it really doesn't matter what kind of cook pot you have. But I'm going to make some modifications to this one to make my pot cozy fit a little bit better for my needs. So first thing you want to do is get your Reflectix material ready to cut. We're going to make this in separate parts. I'm going to start with what's going to go on the bottom of my cook pot. Now this pot cozy or koozie or whatever you want to call it has to be a little bit bigger than your cook pot in order to slide the cook pot in and out of the cozy. So whenever we're making this, let's make the bottom a little bit bigger. That's where your permanent marker comes in. So on the permanent marker, you want to make it just slightly bigger and just draw a radius around your cook pot. It doesn't have to be perfect. We can trim it up as we go. Of course, this is what it's going to look like. It's just tracing the outside of your cook pot. And then you just cut it out. You see it's just a tiny bit bigger than the bottom of my cook pot. Next thing you want to do is we're going to make a strip that's going to go along the outside. Now the mistake I made before when I originally made this is I didn't make that strip large enough. So we're going to make it a little bit too long and then cut off the excess that we don't need. So I'm going to take the cook pot, stick it against my Reflectix. I'm going to mark how long I need this. Again, we want it just a little bit too long. I'm going to roll it, see where she stops. I'm going to cut it just a little bit longer than how much I think I need. So I'm going to cut to right here where I put my marking. I'm going to grab one other thing. I'm going to grab a yardstick so that I can make this mark just a straight line. Looks like our mark is like 3 1/4 inch. So we can see it all on the same side, we'll make that same 3 1/4 inch mark here. And where I'm going to end at, 3 1/4 inch here. And we'll just draw a straight line to cut on, and we should be good to go. We'll wrap this around here, and just like we wanted it, I wanted a little bit too much so that I can cut off the excess and not accidentally make it too short like I did my first time. Perfect. We also don't want to squeeze it too tight whenever we're going to tape it. So if we look at it now, this is what it's going to look like, and we're going to cut off this piece that we don't need. Then all we got to do is tape it and we'll be good to go. Again, we don't want it to squeeze too tight because then we're not going to be able to slide the pot in and out very easily from the pot cozy. Just want it snug enough. I think that's going to be good to go. That feels pretty good there. So I'm actually going to tape this little piece right here with the Reflectix. Get a little bit too much so that we can fold it over. Now here's my little hack on the Reflectix tape. This stuff is super annoying to peel apart. Like I chew my nails off, so I don't do very good at peeling this. So my little hack is, if you'll just pick the side down, you want to get close to that, what happens is you'll get some of this action going, and then you have a little place to peel it. Otherwise, man, it is like impossible to get that done. So if you just flake it back a little bit, then you'll have a little place to start peeling. Oh, we're getting it now. Cooking with Crisco, as my mom says. We're cooking with Crisco. So we'll just take this and stick it all the way down, and we need to tape that along the bottom. And then what's going to happen is, boom, bam, thank you, ma'am, your pot cozy is going to sit inside there. Another little thing, instead of taking little bitty tiny individual strips of tape to tape this bottom on, we can make some slightly larger strips so it doesn't take as many. And then we'll make a couple of cuts as we go. And I'll show you what I mean. So peel the tape off using that little hack I showed you. Careful, it'll start rolling up on you. So you want to be gentle as you're pulling it apart here, but take her sticker down in there. We're going to put it like this, and then we're going to make a cut straight as an arrow there. We're going to make a cut so that we can fold it. So I'll make a cut right there. That gives me a little flexibility, so when I fold it down, I didn't have to pull a bunch of individual pieces. Look at that, easy money. We'll put another one here, another one here, another one here, and patch her up. Now you can see I got a few little holes still here, and we will patch those up real quick, and we'll be ready to make the lid. That's what she looks like. So this is the lid in particular that I have, and if I try to put like a cozy on top of this, I can't make it because this handle's in the way. So one thing we can do is just take this handle off and use a different handle, and it's just got a 4-way screw on it, so we can unscrew that. And the new handle I'm going to make is just super cheap. It's an eye bolt. And if I just screw this on, it's it's not going to stay in place very well. Like you can see, the threads are just too long there. So instead of just sticking that through there and putting one of these nuts on the bolt, what I'm going to do instead is put a nut on the bolt before I stick it through this hole, and I'm going to put a nut on the other side of it. So that's going to hold in place, and it's going to give me a little handle. Now the only thing I worry about, since I don't have a lock washer on this, is whenever I put this other nut on here, I'm afraid sometime I'm going to accidentally eat this one. So if it like drops in my mashed potatoes or something, that'd be bad news. Hey, another thing I did on mine is I just took a grinder and I just sliced that part of that bolt off so it wasn't as long sticking out. But now we're good to go. We're going to use this to make the lid cozy. If you're wondering what the multi-tool is for, it's so that I can tighten this bolt up, you know, before I put this on. Now we're going to cut out the top part that we'll put on top of the lid. And again, I'm going to use the Sharpie and outline it. Again, making it a little bit larger than the lid itself. So there's my template, and let's cut it out. What we'll do is we'll make a slit in this so that we can slide it over that eye bolt. Ever so carefully. Make a hole in that. Got my skizzers, so should be good to go. And voila, we can open it up a little bit more, but that's not going to let very much heat out. Now we can cut us a piece. This is essential. Whenever we cut this piece, I also made it a little bit too short. You can see it started to come apart right here where I was taping it. We want to make this come out at an angle so that we put the lid on top. What's going to happen is this reflectix will overlap and you don't lose any heat coming out the side. So we'll probably trim this down just a little bit and then make this a little longer so it sits down here. Let's do it. Probably going to trim off like, I don't know, half an inch or so. Okay. And now whenever this sits in here, now we can make that lid cozy just a little bit longer. So if we look at it, I don't know how long it needs to be. Let's use our resources here. Probably need to make this inch and a half probably. And for my pot anyway, I don't know what kind of pot you have, but let's try it and see. Worst comes to worst, you just redo it, right? Measure her down. See how far we need to go. Yeah, that looks a little better. I think that is going to be good to go right there. Look at that. That's pretty much perfect. Let's tape it up. Now here is where we're going to make some little cuts again to make our life easier. Instead of cutting a million tiny pieces and connecting them all, we just want to do as many as possible at one time. Careful not to let all your tape roll up. Let's do it like this. Put her down here. we're gonna make us a cut, I don't know, every 3/4 inch or so, 1/2 inch, something like that. And then we can fold all these down and we should be rocking and rolling. It don't have to be perfect. Man, it saves so much time by making those little cuts. Let's go ahead and connect her around right here and put a piece. We'll be good to go. Oh yeah, she's coming out real good. Let's test it real quick. We'll fill all this in as well, but let's test it real quick and see what it's looking like so far. Oh, she's a little snug. A little snug. We may need to do a little loosey-goosey on here, trim her down. One thing that we will do before we quit is we'll put tape all around here so that it slides nicely on there. All right, let's go ahead and fill this in. All right, a couple little gaps to fill in and we'll be almost done with the lid. Last thing we're going to do is we are going to put a piece of tape around the outside, and that way you see it won't get caught like this. It'll just, the lid will slide on nicely. We'll be good to go. We'll pinch it nice and tight there. One more. One more. See how she fits. Oh yeah. That's it right there. Should we see how much it weighs? Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Let's see how much it weighs. So the pot and the lid weighs 103 grams, and the Koozie and its lid weighs 32 grams. And together, of course, it weighs 136 grams. So as you can see, the pot Koozie hardly weighs much at all, you know, around an ounce or so. And what it allows you to do is you boil water in your cook pot, and then you pour, you know, mac and cheese or ramen or Nor pasta sides, whatever you have that rehydrates, you can put that in your cook pot and put the Koozie around it and let it sit there for 20 or 30 minutes. And you don't have to cook, you don't have to keep cooking and use that fuel. You can just let the pot Koozie do its job while you take care of your camp chores, and then you're good to go. Great video suggestion by you guys. I appreciate it. If you have other suggestions or comments, make sure you leave them below. If you've enjoyed, like, subscribe, kick the notification bell for the latest notifications. We'll see you in the next video.